I am yours. We are one with that universal power, and we can never be separated from God. And as the song says, I didn't even have to ask. It's not because of anything that I've done, but because of who you are. We don't need to do anything specific to make this truth the truth. And if we want to live in this universal power, it's wise for us to acknowledge our connection. Because it's right there all the time. And yet, if we don't acknowledge it and choose to work with that power, we're missing out. So as the song asks, who am I? In her book, A Return to Love, Marianne Williamson writes, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. My little human self. When I hear things like, I'm brilliant, or I'm gorgeous, or I'm talented, that sounds like boasting. That's what we're taught. And yet when your divine is telling you those things, those truths, who are you not to be? Sorry, God, you're wrong. You don't know me. You don't know the things I've done. Everybody else does better than me. I've missed my opportunity. Aren't those the conversations that we have sometimes? And it feels like we're so far apart from the way that our higher power might see us and the way that we're living over here as little humans, on our little not enoughness. But even when it feels like we're so far apart that we might even forget our connection. My hands are still connected to my arms, connected to my shoulders, connected to my body, connected to my very center. There is no such thing as separation. Our divine truth is always our truth. We just have to tune into it and let go of our other ideas. So as we continue Women's History Month, I just found it interesting. I quoted Marianne Williamson there, and she's thrown her hat in the ring again to run to become America's first female president. So maybe someday she'll be in our history books. Who knows? I think it's kind of cool that she's running on the platform of love. I mean, that's what she talks about, a universal love and a universal power. I don't know that the rest of the world is ready for that, but we can. So another woman I wanted to talk to you about in history, and the history of the unity movement, is Hypatia Hasbrouck. And Hypatia, she was born in 1921, and she grew up reading Wee Wisdom, a magazine, a unity magazine for children, way back in the early 1900s. She went on to become an ordained unity minister in 1974, and she led churches, and she served as the ministerial education program's dean for a while. And all the while, she was collecting ideas and techniques for a book that she planned on writing, The Handbook of Positive Prayer. And that's still available in print now. She was a master teacher and a strong leader in the movement and in life. She was very methodical in her thinking and had a deep appreciation for ritual. So if you read some of her works or her prayer works, it is very methodical. And yet it's a great guide One of the things she did that really impressed me is she had her regular prayer routine. Every morning she would read the daily word. A lot of us do that, don't we? Read the daily word in the morning and then pray or meditate after that. And every day she would take the coins out of her purse and bless them and put them in a jar that she called her silent unity jar. And at the end of the month, she would count her coins and she would bless them again with an affirmative prayer and then write out a check for the amount of the coins that she had collected during that month for silent unity. And it's said that she did this same practice every day, every month for 40 years. I believe she knew what it was meant to be in the flow of the absolute abundance. And so she did it methodically. You might not do it that way, and that's okay, but it worked for her. Not only did she write the handbook for positive prayer, she's written a lot of articles and other books as well. But in that book, she says that positive prayer is more than just deliberate communication with God for a specific purpose. So it's getting away from that praying for something. She says it's a constant and unceasing prayer that helps us to form a permanent attitude of mind that reflects the eternal benevolent activity of God. This, she said, is how we can express our truest nature as children of God. Knowing that God doesn't change, not even through all these centuries. God remains the I am. No further definition needed. In an article of hers that we used in prayer training this past weekend, 8 Daily Practices for Positive Prayer, she talks about that I am. And she says, in effect, that we identify ourselves with whatever feeling, thought, characteristic, or condition follows the I am. Therefore, we need to be careful about how we use the I am and make sure that we're only using thoughts, feelings, characteristics, and conditions that we want to identify, to be identified, and which we want to produce or to manifest in our lives. How many times do you hear people say, well, isn't that great, when something bad happens? Well, we're supposed to leave on vacation tomorrow, but my son broke his ankle. Isn't that great? No, no, that is not great. Watch these words that come out of your mouth. Or, yeah, lucky me, my car died again. Guess it'll be back to the mechanic and hundreds of dollars. We hear people talk like that all the time. Maybe we do it ourselves from time to time. We are living in this very human world. We have a whole range of emotions and problems. Things do go wrong. My dad used to say what you mean and mean what you say. It reminds me of in the book, The Four Agreements, when Don Miguel Ruiz says, be impeccable with your word. Impeccable. That's a really high standard, isn't it? And what they're saying is, speak more accurately. In fact, that's exactly what Hypatia Hasbrook says. She says, speak more accurately, and you'll stop feeding your subconscious mind with misinformation about yourself and your world. And you will also cease taking the name of your Lord in vain. She goes on to say, perhaps that last remark surprises you. What do you mean, taking the name of the Lord in vain? Well, she says, according to the Bible, I am is the only name of God that was ever directly revealed to anyone. I like that, because we talk about, the name doesn't matter, whatever you call this higher power. But Biblically, the only name that was ever revealed to anybody was I am. So that is the name of God. And Hypatia says, Moses received the revelation along with the commission to free the Israelites from Egyptian bondage. And God said to him, say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. Like we heard in the opening scripture. So I am is the name of God. And every time we use these words, we are in a sense praying, for we're claiming our oneness with God. Oh boy, there's a wake-up call for you, huh? Every time we say I am, we are connecting, calling forth the presence of God. So back to the song that asked, who am I? Perhaps the best way to answer that is to affirm the wholeness of ourself using I am affirmations. And we talk about affirmative prayer all the time. But what about when we're not praying, just in our everyday language? Today is National I Am Day. The second Sunday in March celebrates National I Am Day as a reminder to set aside time for daily positive affirmations and self-care. Now, this found on the National Day calendar, it says, I am are two powerful words you can say that will change the way you think and feel about yourself, also known as daily positive affirmation statements. Well, we know that. But you know what I love about this? They're bringing a spiritual teaching into people who may never claim to know God. And yet it's the same teaching that we're talking about right here all the time. They don't need to know that I am is the only name ever revealed by God. They don't need to know that. But if people around the world would start to use these I am affirmations, we could see everything change. So have at it. I am can help people overcome fear and self-doubt, to reduce self-sabotage, to catch themselves when they're saying something negative about themselves and turn it around. It helps us to believe in ourselves, to reach our potential, to be more self-empowered and self-motivated, self-encouraged. And it may seem really foreign at first to say I am statements about things we're not feeling about ourselves. But here's what this suggests. Try it. Try it even if you don't believe what you're saying. Try it. And do it repeatedly so your mind starts to absorb what it is you're saying. It can lead you to a happier and healthier life. Instead of listening to the negative self-talk or criticism from others that might have us feeling like we're not enough, we don't measure up, we're weak, or we're unworthy. So here's some tips from National I Am Day. Always practice your I am statements using present tense. Not, I will be great someday, but I am great. Avoid using words that give a negative intention. Set aside time when you wake up or are ready for bed to say your affirmations, or both. Say your affirmations out loud and listen to your voice speaking these affirmation phrases. Think about maybe recording your voice saying these I am affirmations. And on those days when you're feeling kind of down, play the recording and listen to your voice, reminding you of who you are. Use affirmations that have meaning to you and to your life and to your experiences. create affirmations based on things in your life where you'd like to experience change. And I love what they say here, because we say this about prayer. Prayer doesn't change God. Prayer changes us, right? Gets us in a different mode, in a different way of thinking, in a different energy. And so they're careful to say on National I Am Day, we're not saying that this is a cure. Your problems aren't going to disappear. Affirmations aren't there to solve them, but they will bring about great results if you use them daily. You might even see yourself changing in ways that you thought were impossible. Be gentle with yourself and give yourself time to see the results. So how about if we practice some I am statements together? I took some that were suggested on their website and added a few of my own, and I came up with a list of 10. Are you ready? How about if we stand up to give us some more power? Let's get that energy moving all through our bodies. I'm going to say it, and then we're going to repeat it together. And if you don't think it's true for you, that's all the more reason to say it loud, and say it proud. I am beautiful and unique. I am strong and independent. I am thankful for the life I have. I am an amazing human being. I'm resilient and brave. I am more than enough. I am learning to become the best version of myself. I am a divine being. I am love. I am one with the all-power. I am. Woo! Woo! You're giving me chills up here. I can feel the energy coming from you. And I just want to say to you, yes, you are. 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 You may be seated. Imagine that those words you just said are your Creator speaking to you. They are. They are the very words that Creator would speak to you. Your highest and best, reminding you of the truth of who you are. And if you won't listen to the Creator of all heaven and earth, who will you listen to? Stop listening to that chatter that tells you who you're not. Stop listening to other people's opinions of you. They belong to them, not to you. And start tuning in to the higher power within you, the kingdom of heaven, that is always trying to get your attention to remind you of the whole truth of who you are. Namaste.